Our life is full of distractions, attractions and distractions. Distractions mean distraction from what you are. Nobody's paying any attention to themselves. I'm not talking, we pay a lot of attention to our ego.
Hello and welcome. My name is Beloved, and you are watching another Beloved Oracle Speaks. Today, we are sitting again in satsang with Mooji. This satsang is very important. Mooji is encouraging us to walk in the spirit of the Master, not just in the footsteps, but in the spirit. Let's take a listen. Thank you for joining us today.
Om. Namaste, welcome everyone to satsang here in Rishikesh today. And of course, welcome all of you who are joining via broadcasting for today's satsang. Some of you, each day you are joining, so big welcome for everyone. I feel in this moment just to again remind those who will hear this inside their hearts, no? That from my standpoint, there is only the self. And that the opportunity or purpose of being here in satsang today is for each one to make use of the opportunity to be totally clear, not merely having an intellectual conviction, not merely a mental clarity, but the experiential proof of what lies behind and beyond the facade of personhood. It is our destiny to transcend the limited and fluctuating, unstable field of personhood and to discover the stable, the timeless, the imperishable, the uncreated self. That is our true nature and being, and that it is possible. And not to create it, not to improve, but to discover. Along the way, even for seekers on the path, there lies many plays of distraction, attraction to phenomenal or momentary things. But we grow as we go. Growing means becoming more clear experientially of what is true, of what is permanent, and what is impermanent. Here in satsang, it is my delight also to share in this way, because it is put across in the most simple way, so that there's no mental gymnastics required. Just the open and earnest heart and attention will yield the true fruit of satsang, which is to awaken to our eternal nature. Sometimes we use the word eternal, you have heard, but also sometimes I use the term timeless. eternal mean unending time. Timeless means beyond time. Not everything that we'll understand with the mind, we don't have to give too much importance what the mind makes of things. Equally, if not more important, is that you recognize that place of stillness from where even the functioning of perceiving or perception takes place and is also perceived. If that is attained or recognized firmly, already you're in the pure field of grace. So, welcome to satsang today.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
Thank you for everything and deep gratitude, whatever you are sharing to all of us. Actually, I want to ask two questions, but before that, I want to describe a little bit about what's going in life. In my first satsang with you, you have pointed towards the stable place, which is beyond time, which is infinite peace, and which is unaffected to the external life situation. And before that, I was trying hard for truth, means I am in different practices and I was trying very much. And I had concept that one fine day, I will achieve the truth. But your pointings remove this misconcept and highlighted that place, which is now and here. But after that satsang, I can observe a significant change in my life. Like things are started happening very fast. Like everything became condensed. Like even good, bad. If we in this language we can say good and bad, or joy and peak of joy and peak of misery, all happening too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Even like sometimes everything after end, everything is for good, that I can understand. But sometimes like desires also coming true, like I am in past attracted something or somebody, but that is happening real, and like relationships and all, and after it's desiring come true, it became like sometimes disaster, and mind is telling that no, I don't want more desires, and like that.
All this since Wednesday. We started Wednesday, no? And here, so you say we pointed out.
Yeah.
Previously, you say you had the aspiration that eventually you will come to that place of truth. But since you heard again that and recognized that was a misconception, that there was something much more imminent, much more here and now, then somehow that entered your heart. Ever since that time, then all these different things, like the way that the life is unfolding seems to be very fast, and the contrasts are also fast. It's true what you say? Yeah. And that you even use the word, it's too fast.
Yeah.
So when I heard too fast, then I was thinking, for whom is it too fast? Why I ask, for whom is it too fast? But it can be moving fast, it can be appearing fast. Watched from your stillness is not possible. This is very important, and it's really at the very heart of my pointing, you see. Previously, you would have said, everything is going too crazy, the world is going crazy, everything is going like this, and don't know what to do. But that voice must give way to a deeper reality that, yes, the dynamic play has become super dynamic. But it doesn't matter because this place is unperturbed, untouched, you see? Did you see this? Because when you really see this, you will not anymore say it's going too fast. Why? Because you will not be so personally involved. You are more observing with a quiet detachment. And that makes a huge difference because when you observe without logging in to what you see, logging in means to identify personally with it. It's already a huge difference experientially. You will remember, but all this is being watched in the immensity. All this is happening in the immensity of the non-happening. Would you not be able to confirm that? And that will be, and you can call it an exercise of observation, that don't pay so much attention to what is happening here. Don't close your eyes to it. You can be very present. But at the same time, two things. One is the seeming movement of the outer and like this, even emotions, thoughts, memory, projections are still outer to this, to the innermost. I'm using these terms, they are not totally correct, by the way, but for the moment I'll use them. That all this is still a happening, arising in the immensity of the unchanging awareness. Did you come to see that?
Yeah. Yes.
I say this and I ask the question because the reflex can happen that quickly, by habit, culture, something is pulled back into the shape of person. And it is the person that begins to interact with all of this, trying to manipulate and to control so that the environment is more pleasing and not threatening. So because it's doing all this juggling, it is also caught up in the noise itself. Not so for the observing place. The observer is more tranquil, simply observing, like I spoke about this second bird position. Something is just now, you're at the place where there's observing of things. It doesn't mean the body is frozen. It doesn't mean the body is paralyzed. Yes, the dynamic force, the life force, the prana is still active, but that is still observed. And because it's moving, there is no condition coming from the self to say, because I am still, everything should be still. No, in the midst of the movement is the unmoving. In the midst of the noise, there is a silence. Your being will notice that with great joy. I am just here. You have not cut off yourself from life. You're not amputated from life. You're simply not passionately, personally so involved in it. And yet, your activities will be appropriate to the needs of the moment. You will notice that. Because some misunderstanding comes as though in order to recognize the truth of who you are, you must cut off life. You must run away to the cave. But that would mean that in order to be free, you cannot be free in the midst of all of this. That all of life means bondage. No, it's not the life that means bondage. Bondage is in the mind. When there's strong sense of personhood, the personhood mode of consciousness is feeling insecure. It desires many things in order to feel right. And it will not feel right for very long because the state itself is unstable. And it is meant to be unstable because if it was totally stable, the aspiration to go to higher states of consciousness would not come.
Like I observed many times that whatever personal weaknesses are there, life many times puts such situations. Like mainly, I find it for me that in job condition, Like I am working as a person and suffering there, and I always thinking that I should search some good job, or I have to try some better something work for me,
Yes.
so that I can work peacefully. And even though somewhere I have trust that whatever will happen happens. Even previous experience also there. I want this job, but something somehow nature gave some another position, and that is was good for me.
Yes.
But always that stress is within
Yes.
the life.
It will maybe in the beginning feel like a stress, the concern for better environment, more care for your family. Of course, it takes some effort, some attention. Maybe in the beginning there will be some stress. But as you don't exchange your sadhana, your looking, to say, no, I cannot get into meditation or contemplation right now because life calls me too strongly to engage with daily things. No, you stay and you keep acknowledging and recognizing and confirming the true place. Simultaneously, the life calls you to some things. You can do both is happening. And what will happen is that what was experienced previously to be stressful will somehow stabilize under the influence of the deeper consciousness. It has to happen. What you're saying is true, that yes, it seems in my dynamic life, daily life, there's always something to do, to look for. This morning also, I went for a walk and I saw on the road, we were talking, on one area of the main road, there are many men standing, well, I found out about it, that they have just showed up for work, to search for work. And then somebody may come along and say, I need some people who can, dig up this garden. And hey, what do we come? And they take as many and they go. So these things, they have to do this stuff. And does that mean that it necessarily takes away or eclipses that deeper knowing? No, you must find that at some point, so stable is your recognition that it doesn't matter what is happening outside. Everything is taking place inside that stillness. But it takes somehow time to stabilize in the timeless. You must not give up, because otherwise the mind will start to complain and says, how can I do this? I've got a life to live. The spirituality is not for me right now. You see? No. It would be like saying, I am not allowed to be myself right now because I have to attend to life. Now, if I put it in that way, surely you would not agree. You're always yourself. In fact, we have been so long not ourselves. We have learned to live with a distortion of our self-perception, and we still manage somehow. But your true life, you are not going to manage. You will find that it's not even you who are making it good. You will come to see that some power you discover as you deepen inside yourself, in your true nature, you will observe that life takes care of life. But when we are strongly identified with personhood and personal autonomy, you think it is you who take care of life. Life allows you to have this view for a time until you suffer it too much. All this we must experience, bitter and sweet. We need, so that kind of friction in order to strengthen our resolve and to become more, to perfect our discernment. So all these things, everyone who's come back, returned to their true nature, who has woken up to the truth, have passed through these states of doubt, of resistance from the mind, laziness, setbacks, illnesses in the body. and they could have given up at different stages, say, what's the point of spirituality? I'm still not well, and all of these things. But they persevered. And they saw that their beingness was yielding good fruit, and they stayed until all this ignorance was swept out of them. Same with you.
Like many times circumstances, his previously mindset was there that everything should be planned and life.
Say again, what?
Previously, like my life set was like that everything should be planned and I should, everything should have some purpose. But these days happening like something spontaneous, some circumstances wants me to be somewhere, but some resistance is there. I am unable to understand the means indication.
You will experience that because for a long time we were functioning with perhaps more control, more planning, more organizing, more management in a certain way. And now there's some changing over, like a change from person, the state of person, to more presence. So sometimes some things that was in the person state can feel like, whoa, I don't have this control anymore, and everything is kind of floating about. But it is still on the road of progress. Little by little, you will come to the right balance. In the beginning, it might feel a bit, I don't know where I am. That not knowing where you are is also not a bad state, Sometimes you think you know where you are, but it's not a good place. So all these things, you must get used to them a little bit. It's not a printout for the rest of your life. It is just a phase you may experience for a little bit. You stay with what you have learned here, what you have seen, not what you have invented, not what you have created, not what you have imagined, but what you have come to see. This place should be a place of seeing, insight. So much so that it continues to show up that all that is happening, you mentioned earlier that I said that all these things are for good, all the things that happen is for good, but we don't believe that. As long as you have a strong point of view, you'll experience things that don't fit into your good view. So you will interpret and mislabel your experiences as inauspicious, when in fact, if you had the right attitude, you will turn even the seeming inauspicious things into good fortune. Such is the nature of the natural state, that what was previously felt to be something, things are going wrong and so on, your mind becomes so harmonized with the heart that at some point you cannot see things as just being purely wrong. You will use them, they become like a step that you elevate somehow.
Sometimes awareness is like some is there, like indicator, like means is awareness is there. Sometimes moments are there, pure awareness. Sometimes it has gone like.
Awareness cannot go. Even awareness must be there to experience the delusion that awareness is not there. Awareness must be there even to say awareness is not there. Even to have that delusion that awareness went away. There must be some awareness to say the awareness is went away. You cannot get away from it. You can get away from your idea about it. You see, you're trying to measure the life, understandably, from a perspective which is not wholesome. We are trying to evaluate life from a position of personhood. That's not a good measurement. The person itself is a measure, appearing in the immeasurable. Your views will change from thinking that somehow you will find the ultimate. Of course, it is part of the ultimate's play also. as Saguna Brahman, that it will believe itself when it manifests in the form I am with the body, believing the body to be itself and not merely an instrument, along with the conditioning you received during the stage of growing, you come to believe, we all came to believe, we are this body and we are the person living in it. So with that limited construct, you will not be able to perceive life in the true light. It will always be something deficient like that. And the Paramatman designed the world like that, so that somehow the consciousness, which is tasting, experiencing through the body, will have the power of what you may call aspiration to grow and to transcend limited states. You arrive at a state, it feels good for a while, but as you're growing, it becomes a limitation, then you move to higher ground of consciousness. So everyone must taste first what it is like in this personal mode of consciousness, where you think you're a person and your outlook is to get some studies, to get your papers, to get a job, to get a family, to all these things. We must experience that in varying degrees. Some people not. Everyone according to a kind of destiny that nobody can comprehend. Each one like that. Until that, moving through those experiences, you are evolving. Some people, your evolution is back towards emptiness of the supreme state. I'm using the word emptiness. It's not totally correct, but it gives a sense of what I'm saying. Others, their evolution, according to their mentality as a person, is to amass as much knowledge, phenomenal knowledge as possible, because we, for a while, will feel that by having all the knowledge, you have gained something everlasting. That is not true. Then when you come to see that all the knowledge in the world does not make you happy by itself, then you will transcend that one also. Or to have all the wealth in the world, or to be the most famous in the world is our aspiration, then you may attain that fame and that name, and you find you are not happy. Then you're able to drop that and to go for something. Finally, we find our way that really the thing that makes you most happy is to be yourself. Nothing is wrong with money, nothing is wrong with houses, nothing wrong with family, nothing wrong with anything. But your mentality and what you take it to be shapes the impact it will have on you. That's just that.
Finally, I want to say that inside a deep urge is there to,
Yes.
like, no more desire, I want no more experience or no more birth. I want to be free from this moving circle of samsara, actually. This
Yes.
I can feel inside the heart.
This samsara is being perpetuated by the one who wants to escape it also. I would say a bit more because it requires it, because still there is inside an identity that feels, I don't want this, I don't want that anymore, because if I get over all these things, then I will come to myself. I would rather encourage you, here in this environment, come to yourself and then take care of the world. I'm not saying leave your family and go, no, I'm saying prioritize that, or at least alongside other things you have to do. Don't leave this behind. Keep looking, put deep attention onto the understanding experientially of your nature, because with that, why am I emphasizing so firmly that you come to this nirgun realization of the perfect awareness in you? Then what will happen to life? Am I saying, listen, all this is just dream, forget about it? No, I am not saying like this. I'm not saying experience the dream, but at least become awake. You can find these things that we feel stop us from realizing the self is only what we imagine. Of course, If you are deeply involved with the things of the world, then you will not feel the aspiration for truth. This truth we're talking about will seem like itself, it's a kind of obstruction to fulfilling your earthly goals. So the one whose time it is right now to really be involved in worldly things and desires and attachments, good luck, let them have it. No curse. Because they have to walk that path. They have to walk this path, just like you have to walk your path until you come to the next and the next as you are evolving. So let everyone go their way. You don't understand their journey. But you find that nothing by itself is a natural obstacle to self-discovery except the ideas we are holding onto in our minds about it. When you discover the full truth, that discovery will automatically bless every expression and every aspect of your dynamic play will be infused with wisdom, you see. So in fact, what it means is that, yes, this, when you wake up, the world will not just vanish, but what is the world? There's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. A world is an emotional, psychological, personal state. In the same way that you go to bed in the night and you have a dream, and even the one who is sleeping next to you is your beloved, you cannot share that dream with them in that moment experientially. It is a unique phenomenon. You may not even be able to have that dream again ever. In the same way, our waking state experience of the world is a unique phenomenon. How to make all these unique subjective experiences cooperate with each other into a harmony. The harmony is not happening there. Deeper down, in the place of the pure, impersonal awareness. When we hear the word impersonal and when we are deeply attached to the personal, impersonal will sound like cold, without feeling, dry. But the impersonal I speak about is the fullness of life. Not misinterpreted, not projected or manipulated, but perceived in a mind that is in perfect harmony with the heart. Can you relate to what I'm speaking now? It is not for tomorrow, actually. I'm only speaking about what is, and what is not limited to time and space. I'm not saying next month you will come to know this. Yes, you may. Maybe next life also. I don't know. But everything I'm speaking is now. It already exists. You're not going to make it exist. It is already so, but it's not realized to be so. It is taken to be something else because it goes through the filter of our personal, subjective thinking. All this can change. Satsang is help you to see through all of this, not to rely on our subjective projections, but start at the place of the witness, you see. It is more stable and more reliable. From there, everything becomes easier if you follow. The witness itself is not the person. It is like a bridge between the personal and the impersonal. I'm saying all these things in a very broad way and let them just be assimilated inside the consciousness. Gradually, as we keep talking, you'll see that things find their place, and you are just in your natural state. I will speak to you like this because as yet I have not received the impulse or the sense to finish you. We're just simply talking, so we can spread it out, and everybody can have a little bit. We turn this talk into a picnic, and everybody can listen. Yes, yeah. But when it comes the time that somehow the seeing is somehow it's ripening at some point, then there's a little bit. What about this? And you can see. Not necessarily it could be ooh. I say this so that you don't be waiting for the and this is mine, you see, like that. We are waiting for something that is already here, and it's more here than you. Meaning, it's more here than the way that you think you are. You are more here than you. What to say? Okay, before you go back to your seat, speak something from here now, about right now.
Right now, no desires, just beating of hearts.
That is happening by itself, yes.
No question and no thought.
Yes. But even if there were thoughts, that which is aware of thoughts need not feel affected by thoughts. This is your opportunity to verify. Because when we are in the mode of personhood, we feel strongly affected by the thought flow, by emotions and feelings. But now I ask, only observe them. Don't log in. Don't become personal. Don't identify. Because the reflex and the habit in the past has been to relate these things to a self that itself is made up. Now you can see more and more, yes, it's just a thought, and the thought cannot turn into something troublesome unless it gets you to become personal. Unless it gets you to become something personal. When it catches you and you start to respond personally, then somehow you can experience struggle. If you observe with detachment, impersonally, you'll watch and see that all thoughts, feelings, and stuff, they come and go. Now, that doesn't mean all thoughts and feelings, they're bad and you shouldn't touch them. No. As you recognize the unchanging in yourself, you will also know what thoughts are useful and what ones are not. Thoughts by themselves are not bad. When you're not aware, then you're picking up all kinds of things. Now you say, I'm here. There's a silence now. The thought activity, they are not flowing right now. But they will start to flow again. They'll flow again. But you don't have to go into a personal relationship with them so quickly. Hold back into your neutrality and you can experience. In fact, your perception and experiencing of life becomes very tranquil, peaceful, when you're not emotionally or personally involved, you see. And this idea that you have become cold and unfeeling, the mind will try and send this one through. You will examine that and feel, it's not necessarily like that. One woman was coming to satsang some years ago, and she was only in satsang maybe for a month. And she happened to need to go back to Italy and to spend some time with her mother, who she said was feeling not well. So she went for 2 weeks to be with mom. When she came back, she said, I went to report how it was. I went there and I realized that I've had a long-standing relationship with mom. It could be dad as well, okay? So I'm not picking on moms. I had this relationship with mom. I always felt when I left and came to live in London, I always felt that for her, she feel, you betrayed me. You abandoned me. I needed you and you left me. So every time they see each other, mom plays sick. That is, no? And daughter plays, mom, and does everything, rub the shoulders and the foot, and that's the relationship. It's become a little bit of a scenario like that. So this time she went and she found that mom was there. She still made all the teas and cooked and cleaned the place and come to rub the leg. But the mom's kind of like, oh, I'm dying. Was not touching her. It was not touching. She's feeling, oh my God. Still she's doing, but not feeling upset and, Mom, I'm so sorry, but I have to be there now and all this kind of stuff. She did not feel that. She felt a total tranquility. Still the love from mom is there. But the play was changing. The mom, okay. So the thought came in her mind like this. Oh, you've become so cold. And she, oh my God, maybe I'm losing my feelings. And she stopped and she looked. She goes, nah, it's not that. She realized it's not, I'm not losing my feeling. I care for my mother, I care for my family. Then sometime also, mom with her own friends call on the phone and she's, la 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 la. And so anyhow, we came back and realized that, wait a second, the important thing was that something was not so easily pulled into a state of guilt as was happening before. Is that a good thing or bad thing? So it was felt, actually, there's a neutrality. If I pay attention to this, I feel very well, I feel very composed. I'm not without feeling, I'm not without compassion, but I'm not so quick to put on the role of being the bad daughter or the bad person and so on. That is drying up. So you may experience things like that. And for a while you may not be sure because it's a new feeling. It's a new feeling. And so something may come from the mind to say, oh, now you're really going off course now. Or even people that you have known for some time or feel that they know you. I say feel like they know you because we all feel like we know each other very well. Will say to you things like, oh, you're looking very sad. Have you noticed this type of thing? You're looking a bit down. I said, down? I'm not down at all. Are you sure? There is something going around at the moment, whatever it is. And all these things come, don't quickly feel, oh, you're being attacked. No, use them and check in with yourself. That's all, gradually like this. So the tendency to blame and all of these things are quietly thinning away from you and leaving a spaciousness, getting used to feeling empty. is not a negative state. Spending time by yourself is not being a recluse. Putting the attention on your own being without calculating is a very potent introspection. And all these things you may just feel naturally, I wish to sit by myself for now. You don't have to make any timetable about it. Moving in a more spontaneous way is not being irresponsible. So all these things, maybe we are experiencing some changes taking place at the body-mind level, but from the place of the inmost, unchanging. And what is present in you, I cannot describe. You tell me about it.
Now total peace is there.
Yes. Yes.
No worry, no question for future, nothing.
Yes.
Just this.
Yes. There's peace, but no peacekeeper required. Peace is here, but the keeper of peace, not necessary. Peace is your perfume. Joy is your perfume. Love is your perfume. And it will keep becoming more beautiful, even without you trying. You simply stay here. When we are climbing up a mountain, it's a lot of work, dangerous, slipping and starting and going. We don't know what's happening on the other side of the mountain. But when you are on top, you are resting. You can see all the different sides. You come to the mountaintop of your own being. What does that mean? When you have reached this place, you keep looking and confirming there's a stillness here that cannot be categorized. It's no monopoly for any particular religion or any particular. It is just the essence. It is the self itself. You're not talking as though you're something looking at the self. Even the voice speaking about it is appearing in it. And you are naturally in love. Everybody must fall in love with this. A non-dual love. Not a object-subject love. A subject-subject love. And it's happening automatically. You become more kind, more open, unafraid, compassionate, empathizing. Yes. I asked one man, who is there looking out from behind those eyes? Behind those eyes is who looking? And he said, conditioning is looking out. I said, what's his conditioning looking out? He says, this I cannot speak.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I speak with you first? Yes, you. And thank you.
Good morning, Mooji.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well,
Good to hear.
huh?
There are a lot of questions. So I think the first one that I will ask may answer all of them.
Ooh, this I want to hear.
You've spoken about your experience after you met Papaji, and he told you you must vanish, right? And you said it happened like poof. And I remember there was a lady a while back, because I was watching a lot of your videos, who asked you to describe your whole journey. So when you met the religious lady, who's a guy,
Michael. Okay.
yeah, and then Papaji and all that. I just wanted to see if you would be willing to share the story again and how seeing changed for you in every step of that journey, but until this very moment, and how after the big experiences, but as well as all the little experiences and subtleties in between, made you change the way that you perceive and see and
I
experience.
can't talk about that. I can't remember. It's not important enough to remember. Okay. Actually, what happened, I can tell the story a little bit of a great Zen master called Bangai. He decided at one point that he was going to sit on a certain rock and he was not going to move. He was not going to move until he woke up. And he spent months there, months and months there. And at the end of months, all he had was a sore ass, basically. And he thought, it cannot be like that, no? I'm trying. And then he again looked and he was taken care of by somebody, and then he began to look and really inquire into his nature. That took some time. Took him quite a while until he awakened to the self. After that, he traveled all around Japan, and he corrected many misconceptions in the people's mind, including at a certain time in Japan, there was a belief that if you were a woman, you could not awaken. Tough, sorry. But next life maybe or whatever, no? So things like that he took on and he completely just thrashed them open. And so he became very popular teacher. And one of the things, because he had to speak to lay people, normal people, not always monks and so on, he spoke with everyone to show them the simplicity of the self. Just to point out the simplicity, the naturalness, the ever-presentness of their natural state. And what he did, he said, I spent a long time to find it. Now I can show you in a short time. I spent a long time trying. Myself also went through many experiences, not looking for them, just it happened like that. To come to that quintessence of seeing, so that I don't have to tell you, you have to go on this long journey and you have to do this thing and you have to become poor and you have to, no. I said, no, shortcut. Shortcut. Because we don't, to tell someone to do this and then when this happens, you do that. And so I lost interest in it because mostly they couldn't follow. They couldn't follow. It had to be that I wanted to serve people who were hungry, not people who go out for dinner on a date. I want the hungry ones, let them eat straight. So there may come time, of course, when I've shared, in response to your question, I've shared some things which I felt was relevant at that time. It's very important to tell you about this thing or about that thing. But here today, for me, it is always important to see how far we can come to the realization of the self today. You see? So like that, I say, tell a story. Yes. I don't want it to feel like you have to walk how I walk. You remember I told you the story about the masters going up the hill? Anybody remember that one? I told story that the master going up the hill with his disciples? No, when did I tell it then? Oh, it was over there in a smaller group. Okay, I'll tell you something. He said a master, an old master, they were traveling with 3 of his disciples, and they came after a few days, they came to the bottom of a high hill. And the master says, listen to me, we have to go to the top here, and I want you to pay attention and follow me earnestly. Yes, master, thank you. Okay. So off he went, and there's no steps, it's just stones and trees and stuff. So the master goes off and he's walking up, and the 3 disciples are behind him watching every step, put this foot up. And after a third of the way up, one of them just started to go his own way. So the other 2 behind was going, he's not following the master at all. So they are going, trying to follow every step. Go. So finally the master arrived at the top and he looks back and says, one of them was only a few seconds behind him. You must. So, very good. Where are the others? They're down there coming. Trying to remember coming up. So the master, when they all got together, he said to them, very good. You all followed my footsteps? You followed my way? Yes, master, all of them say. The 2 of them said, sir, I'm sorry, but him. He did not follow you at all, master. You didn't? Answer for yourself. He said, sir, I did follow your way. No, he didn't, sir, he didn't. We were watching him. A third of the way up, he started to go his own way. Master, please speak why you do that. He said, sir, I was with you and I was following every step by step I was going. And then at a certain point, it was becoming a strain to keep up with step. And I was looking at you and I see you were not following any step. You were simply a rhythm, there was flow, and I started to feel the flow. And I was going with you, I was following you, but I was flowing in your flow, not just in your step. What about you too? Oh yes, master, we were following you every step. So the master says, okay, you go down 20 meters and show me every step you took. So they went down and they look up and they were this one and this one. And they were almost half an hour and they still could not repeat. So who was following the master, I see? It cannot just be step 1, step 2, step 3. At a certain point, the intuition comes, the feeling comes, because it's not just in the master's legs, but in the heart. They found it hard. And so, although it looks outwardly that it was going one way, he was very loyal. In fact, he loved the master, but was finding that it was the master's spirit he was walking, not just legs, you see. So this is why I say sometimes we can say a little bit of what happened, but sometimes the mind say, but that didn't happen to me. You see? So like that, I feel that as you listen, what am I sharing with you? All that I am, I'm sharing with you. The quintessence of what I've found, I'm sharing with you as much as you can hear. I cannot speak with everybody. Some people don't want to know. Some people think they already know. You see, like this? And so I can only speak to the one who is open with joy. I can speak, they can hear with joy. I also listen. Yes. I listen a lot more than I speak. So I don't know if you understood what I'm just saving you a lot of trouble. Hopefully.
Yeah. And your teaching is very simple because at the end of the day, this is at least from my experience, what I felt is, as you've said in many versions or many ways of expressing it, but you are always coming back to the same concept, is the fact that you are the ever-present unborn awareness that perceives basically everything. Thoughts, emotions, physical pain, from physical, mental, emotional.
Yes, that's my teaching. Is that your experience?
I am at a point where I am continuously capable of observing and even observing the observer. In highs and lows, I don't know if this is what you call it, but like my personal way of doing it with your way is to smile, be grateful, and love every moment and every step that I experience. Whether that is in thought, whether that is in emotion, whether that is in physical experiences.
The important thing here is that you are not so much somebody doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise, if you hold on to an identity, I got to make sure I smile and I'm always doing this thing, and then make sure, then you retain. And this is very important because you perhaps will not hear this kind of thing everywhere, but you're here. So that's why I said peace, but is there a peacekeeper? Is it? In the same way, if we are someone, I'm feel grateful, I feel happy and show happiness and, remember that I'm always looking at something, so detecting that there is an entity behind those intentions, no? And so that entity can continue doing all these things and still retain itself. And it will still retain a separation as the doer of these things. You understand? Now, is it possible? Because sometimes it could be that we are retaining this entity because of fear. That if the entity goes, then what's left? What's left? What's left, you see? And if that is not resolved for you, then the reflex is to keep holding on to the one who say, yes, I got it. Who will then at some point in honesty have to say, I lost it. And that will not be the truth. So the voice inside that says, I try to be grateful all the time and so on. I say, bypass, leave that voice alone and say, at least, but this voice is also seen. The one who is speaking is also sensed. It is phenomenal. It cannot be the essence. It is perceived. And really be with that until its charge in it subsides. You follow it like this? And what remains is just not space. I can see space. You are the space itself. There's still the body. But somehow internally, you, the one who dwells in the body, feels like it's the essence being, but it's like space moving about in space somehow. I don't want to feel like I'm putting too much of a shape or a picture or an accuracy about it. It's more intuitive. And to get across that the fear that of annihilation, the fear of not existing, is only a fear of not existing as the ego, not as existence. And if you don't understand that, you may get locked into ego for a very long time. And the ego demands its own wages also. So those of you who can hear this, please hear it. Because this is one of the ace cards up the sleeve of the mind. Go one more step and you are gone. Thank you for telling me. Others went before you. And they are your inspiration. Follow suit like that. There was a time when we felt, I'm afraid to lose this and I'm afraid to lose that. Now they're all gone. Are you living a life of regret? No. So thankful, thank God. Thank you that this is no more. Why should it stop? How can you be evolving more and more towards the truth and coming into more and more suffering? Yes, some things will keep coming for us to exercise our powers of discernment. Don't misinterpret and think, why are these things happening to me? Because instantly you become a me again. Watch like that. This kind of persistent watching is self-cleaning until you fall in love with your own emptiness. Anywhere else, this word emptiness feels like it carries automatically a negative tone about it. We don't like the sense of nothingness because we have all been told you have got to be the best somethingness. So the secret, which is not meant to be a secret, it became a secret. You see, that in the zero, the essence of what is meant by zero is the everything. The everything is in the no thing. And that which is beyond all. Beyond everythingness and no thingness. But not beyond in terms of distance, physical distance, but beyond in terms of subtlety. Your consciousness is becoming more subtle. Only your experience at the daily level is confirming the beauty of that, not your mind. So this interned attention, though it may seem to be oversimplistic an advice, even naive, non-dynamic. At the same time, it's the most potent. We were talking before, and I was saying that what happens if you put the mirror in front of anything, you see reflection. If you put two mirrors in front of each other, whatever is squeezed out through the side, it will reflect. What happens if you put two mirrors together? What will they reflect? Now, some people go, whoa, I want to work that one out. But there's an intuition here that if you get it, it will help you to see what I am speaking, which cannot be seen, but can be known. Can be recognized without seeing physically. Non-physical seeing. Maybe that might feel a bit complex. Did we answer some more questions in that?
Yeah, to some extent. I think it's just the illusion of the process that the ego has to take, that it still needs to go in that play of...
Then you remember that whatever the ego, which is carrying presently a certain idea you have of yourself, whatever journey it has to make is taking place within your observing field.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That whatever it is, the journey, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the subtleties and the grossness that the ego sense, carrying the sense of me, has to make, is taking place in front of that which is not taking place. And if those words are contemplated, it will dry up the journey. Because the ego mind is always searching for new lands to explore. And it is always ready to send you on another journey, if you are up for it. But however many journeys take place, it is observed in the journeyless self. You may feel, I'm not ready, that's too direct. And one of the things that sometimes upsets the ego in the form of persons is the directness of what is being shared. Because through that directness, some people have come to see, I still have been cherishing some projections that something feels I need to abandon them now in order to be really loyal to my seeing. And that's not my business so much. I am not saying you do. Do what feels right for you. I only can say that this thing is here, is here. Then you must look and see if what the mind is hoping to find as a promise to bring you more joy is greater than this, which is natural to you. That's all. And because of this, also, many people, I don't want to call, I used to think I am dealing with people, the people and people. But more and more it became just the force of consciousness in its play of light or darkness. And if there are negative vibrations or influences in the consciousness, it will not be attracted to this knowledge. It may be attracted to some form of spirituality, and I'm not speaking against any particular brand. It may be attracted to something, but maybe there may be a silent and secret postponement or avoidance of reaching the goal. You understand what I'm speaking? Sorry? Yeah, that there may be a subtle avoidance of attaining the goal, although outwardly and expression-wise we appear to be following and doing everything and all the stuff we're supposed to be doing, but somewhere inside there may be a fear that if I touch that zero place, I'm gone. And I want to be there to hold the trophy of enlightenment. I want to be able to say, hey, it's me. I got it. So this kind of talk is really for the sincere seeker. The seeker is not what you are. It is a function of your spiritual intelligence that is searching for its own root. So I point these things out, yes. And because this is direct, we don't have much time to kind of hide. No? More and more you will see that if there are some thoughts, some ideas that we're holding to that's not in service to the realization of the truth, the light of your own consciousness will begin to expose them. They cannot hide anymore. There's nothing to hide behind. It's like a thief trying to hide in a glass house. So things are, then you see, so the earnest one will say, but that is not serving the truth. And I'm so happy that that's exposed, although there's a feeling that if it goes, there'll be a gap. Can I bear that? And you say, who is speaking? Can I bear or not? Is it the truth? Or is it still something which is a mixture of truth and false? Like this, that level of earnestness must come clear for you. As I said before, the truth is simple and obvious, but the seeker can be complex because it has taken the darshan of the mind, the psychological mind. And so something is playing. He wants to get something, he wants to have something, want to become something. But as you are discovering your truth, you're finding, but you are without need. That doesn't mean that you are irresponsible, you don't care about your family. No, no, no. A higher power is taking over and taking care of things. A higher power is taking care of things. You may find that you're in a country that's the poorest country in the world, wherever that may be. And you think, well, surely this is not the place to be broke. This is not the place to lose your wallet, your iPhone. But if you are one of truth, and I'm not going to say, yeah, I am one of truth. I'm just saying, if something will come take care of you. Many of you know these things to be true. Some are a bit too scared to find out. Today, I'm pointing this thing out because you say like this, I'm pointing this thing out. Is it in service to you or not? Is it in service to your seeking or not? Yeah. Huh? But to be. The being. Okay. What I've shared with you, I would say I share with the intimate students we look. Those who feel I'm here for this. No compromise, you know? But you only come to that stage because you have already have some conquered ground behind you. You've come to a place now where you're not only just believing, you're seeing. And because you're seeing, the confidence is there to say, yes, whatever is holding some kind of spell inside the dynamic self, that now is freed up, you see. Okay.
Thank you, Mooji.
Thank you. I'll take one moment to just look at one of these because the letters are coming in, and I just to take a look at something what the postman brought today. Okay, that's one moment here. Sorry, a bit messy. Sorry. Okay. Dear Mooji, your words go directly to my heart and resonate as truth. Thank you. I have been meditating for the past 30 years, and I am deeply grateful for all the blossomings that have come. However, I am still incomplete. I perceive that I am my personhood still holding on, and I can see that my body-mind is scared. Will I go crazy if I let go? Will I go crazy if I let go? Is it naive to believe that life will really take care of itself? No, human beings are keeping everything going. I have been hurt in the past, and I can see that I don't completely trust in God. It's understandable. Thank you for your guidance. I will treasure whatever you say. With love, Christine. I go over now. Your words go directly to my heart and resonate as truth. I have been meditating for the past 30 years, and I'm deeply grateful for all the blossomings that have come. However, I am still incomplete. Yes. You know, when I told you something you may say, if you go to optician, you may say, he says, okay, how is your sight feeling? You say, well, doctor, in this eye, I'm seeing, I think, about 60% sight. And this one, I think 35%. So something is seeing the seeing, isn't it? Something is seeing. This one is not seeing full power. I would say 60. This one only 35%. So something sees the strength of sight or the weakness of sight. You go to ear doctor. Hello, you. Sorry. How is your hearing? Oh, this side, doctor. I don't hear hardly anything. Just a little bit I can hear. You see, if you take a spoon and you hit ding, I can hear this, but otherwise, I don't know. This side, yes, this is my good ear. I'm hearing about 45%. Something perceives hearing and the lack of hearing, isn't it? In the same way, you think I am still incomplete. So the sense of completeness, because you say I'm incomplete, I am incomplete. The sense of completeness or incompleteness presently judged from the mixed self, the sense of personhood mixed with consciousness, that may feel accurate to say, yes, I feel I'm incomplete in this way, I'm more complete in that way, but it's still very subjective based upon your present level of maturity. We got this one? Okay, I carry on. So, however, I am still incomplete. So something behind even this saying must have a sense of completeness and incompleteness. I perceive that I am, my personhood, still holding on. And I can see that my body-mind is scared. So something is perceiving that my sense of personhood is still holding on. Something is perceiving the sense of personhood is still holding on. The one who perceives that the sense of personhood is still holding on is not a complete weakness. Because in the truth, this true self, holding on, not holding on means nothing. It's not the self is holding on, not holding on. It is some idea I have of myself is holding on or not holding on. And it would discern that is not worth giving any attention to it. But the one who says, I perceive that my personhood is still holding on, something perceived that. The one who says, I can see my person is still holding on, is that one's voice reliable?
No.
Oh, only here is here. Only here is here. I can't see over there. The one who says, no, my sense, my person, my identity is still holding on. Still holding on. Please help me to get rid of it. Is this one reliable? No. Is this one perceivable?
Yes.
If it is perceivable, it cannot be the essence. Huh? Who is it? Who is saying, this my person is still holding on? Normally this one is accepted to be your present state, your present position. Agree? The one who say, would you please help me? My mind, it just won't stop. Yesterday stopped for 10 minutes. And then in the night it came back and, please help me to get this one. If the mind stopped, will this one stop grumbling? Oh, you don't know, huh? This one also must be looked at and included in the observing also. That is also phenomenal. When that is recognized, a deeper seeing is experienced, which is impersonal to that. And the virility of that voice somehow softens out. Do you see this or not? Can I move on? Next point? Okay. So still holding on, and I can see that my body-mind is scared. So feeling of body-mind is scared is also observed. No? This is very important, because sometimes we don't make these last steps I'm talking about. We stabilize at the one who is experiencing all this and is asking, please, and my body-mind is so scared, please you help me, you see? So the body-mind and the one speaking, they're one. Will I go crazy if I let go? Will I go crazy if I let go? Even this one is thinking, if I let go, will I wake up or will I go crazy? Even this one, you are beyond even this one. If you stabilize your identity in this one, who say, will I go crazy if I let go? You promise? You promise? Because my fingers are letting go. You promise? Would you please? I said, let go of the one who needs to let go. Meaning, don't get involved in that so much. Let go of identifying so deeply with that position, because you are already beyond it to be aware of it. Can anybody follow this advice?
Yes.
Okay. Will I go crazy if I let go? Is it naive to believe that life will really take care of itself? Well, I would not trust the one who is asking this question. He's going to say, so if I let go, okay, I let go. And let go for them might be, I give up my job. Okay? Where's the self? Where's the self? What would it mean if I let go? Let go of what? Can you let go? Can the one who say, should I let go, can they let go? No. They cannot even let be. So this one also is phenomenal, meaning the presence, the power of yourself is aware, capable of hearing my voice and seeing, that's where previous mistakes were made. I was owning this position and feeling, should I let go? Can I let go? Please, will I be safe if I let go? It's asking guarantee. Mooji, will you write it on a paper? Date and place? No, I said, no, it's not like this. This one also must be seen as also a thought construct believed in. Is it possible? I don't know if I trust you. You learn, is it possible? Are you catching up that this is a place that your sense of person has been hanging out in that shape? And the sense of yourself or the idea of yourself or your self-image is not you. Can you bear the possibility that what you are is beyond personal? Is it naive to believe that life will really take care of itself? I have been hurt in the past, and I can see that I don't completely trust in God. Trust in God is not something that you can do if you have strong ego. If you have strong ego and lots of fear, and then I say, trust in God, you say, okay, I trust. And then he didn't show up yesterday. He left me by the bridge. I don't trust in him. So I can't say like that. I can only point you that you are present, and it is the God energy in you that's able to see all these things and see that they are not real. I met some people on my walk, and they come, oh, Guruji, bless me. And I want to say, of course, I see this as a wonderful thing in India. People believe in God and want to receive from someone they feel is a near God, or, to bless them, and that's a powerful thing. But then I want to ask, what do you want me to bless you for? For what? For what? Because I don't know, I'd like to hear, is it bless you for health, better health? Is it bless you to be good in your business? Is it bless you to, pass your exams? Is it bless you to, become rich and famous? What exact blessing you want? All. Okay? Or I don't know. No, nobody said that. I'm just thinking all. And, or is somebody saying, could you bless me to wake up to who I truly am? Then I would say, come to satsang. It's not so difficult. This is incorporating all blessings. All blessings. In the Sagun Brahm. This will incorporate all blessing. But when you succeed so much in the realization of the self, you see all along your life is blessed. You see that the steps you make, even the bad decisions you made, was only ill-conceived in your assessment of them. And even when you misinterpreted them, their effect was still good. But you did not know how to interpret them. You did not recognize that they were good. You did not take the attitude that this is good. So you experience the fruit of your own attitude. You think it was bad, so you felt bad. Why should life curse you? You're the child of life. And life emanates out of your being. Why should anything be against you except your own thinking, which you must learn the mechanism of the functioning of the psychological mind and self and overcome. This life is a life for transcendence. This is the play that you transcend state after state. And it doesn't go on forever. If you realize that all states are apparent and you witness them, can you yourself be witness? Are you personal? If you find this out and satsang is the place for this, then see what you have discovered. See if anything in this world that you can possess phenomenally can compare with what you are. Is it naive to believe that life would really take care of itself? I have been hurt in the past and I can see that I don't completely trust in God. As you are discovering yourself, that trust comes automatically. As you are discovering, there is an hadith of the Prophet that says, he who searches for himself finds God. He who searches for God finds himself. It's only a question of your temperament and orientation. Some people are more devotional. As they are discovering more and surrendering more, they're discovering of themselves. The true bhakti comes to non-duality eventually, emerges with the beloved. The true jnana, also jnani is as discovering also love flows in the wisdom and the knowledge also. The karma yogi in giving selflessly, in loving service also. The giver and the receiver totally merges in the one. All the rivers, they are flowing. The Euphrates, the Ganga, the Nile, all of these, Amazon, everything is flowing towards the sea. When they reach the ocean, they lose their individual names, and they're all called ocean. For a while, our life will feel like river flowing towards the ocean, which is the God Self. Thank you for your guidance. I will treasure what you say. Follow what I say. Follow what I say. And see, you see. Some people, you go to their home, they have a Bible in a beautiful case, or the Holy Quran, or the Guru Granth Sahib, or the Upanishads. They are only books until they enter your heart. When they enter into your heart, they become scripture. They become alive. So, Christine, maybe you listen to what we share again. Come. Yes.
Atha Yoga Nushasanam. I have awakened. I live every day in the I Am presence. At the age of 21, I stopped all of my thoughts. I do not have reactions. I flow in the present moment. Ever since I was a child, I meditated. My parents were Christian, and they always told me that was wrong, that it was connecting to the devil. But I listened to my heart without anyone telling me. So I feel a strong connection to past lives as a seer, as a rishi. And I always watched these satsangs for 10 years, and I wondered, why has no one come here to you, Mooji, and say, I am awakened, meeting you with presence. I am here as pure presence, meeting you. My body is trembling for the fear of what you may say, but I do not need recognition. I do not need confirmation. I am here My heart is awakened to the purpose that I have to help awaken the world. I see so much of the problems going on, and I love your teachings. I love your guidance. I love your pointings. But the one thing I have a problem with is that you guide people into not having a dream. And I cannot accept that because I believe we need to be brave enough and courageous enough to change the horrors on this planet. When I first got here to India, my only reason to come here was to see you because I felt you calling me. You said, the awakened ones, come. I came. I am a Buddha who is hatched. As Sadhguru says, when someone stops the fluctuations of their mind, they are awakened. That is what I have done. I never sat at the foot of any guru. I awakened within myself. I've studied for countless lifetimes and years and learned so much. But I one day woke up at the age of 21 and said, enough consuming, time to create. So I sat and I meditated. I looked around my room and I saw the different objects. I saw these objects and I chose to not name them. I chose to not label them. I felt their energy. I felt their presence, their beingness, and something within me stopped. The wheels of my mind stopped turning, and since that day, there has been nothing but cool waters in the space that was once my mind. What is being spoke here isn't a conception, it isn't even a thought, it's a feeling, it's an emanation, it's a truth. I have followed every single one of your pointers, and listening to you this whole time, my body became jittery because everything you speak is everything I live. When I came on the plane, an 11-hour trip, I meditated the whole time. I got into altered states of consciousness and I felt my whole body expanding. And I wasn't able to open my eyes when the flight attendant would push me. And it felt like the scene in Kung Fu Panda when Po gets punched, it's like boing, like it couldn't touch. And so I was in this state of meditation, deep, just non-connecting to any thought, any concept, any idea. And as I was sitting in this state, my favorite drink to have on planes is ginger ale with ice. It brings me so much joy. And as I was in meditation, both people next to me, guess what drink they got? Ginger ale with ice. So I couldn't have it. I couldn't drink it. But I asked the question, who is aware that there is thirst? And I sat in that awareness and I allowed it to emanate throughout my entire being. And as I sat there, I realized this nectar of presence is the sweetest drink there's ever been. Even my saliva is sweet. I feel joy constantly. And because I'm a feminine being awakening, the feminine awakening actually looks rich in emotion. The masculine awakening is to separate oneself from emotion. But the feminine
I think you're ready for your own show.
I have one. It's Instagram.
Okay. Thank you.
That's all you have to say to me?
Well, you've said a lot to me. When you spoke, and so much behind each thing, is strong sense of like I did this and I've done this and I.
There's no I. That is a statement of I am, and you speak about that yourself. The conception that I have of myself has been obliterated, truthfully. And I ask you in earnestness to see the truthfulness in my heart, to see the purity in my being. This is what you ask all of us to awaken, and yet your students are laughing at the truth that I'm speaking? How can you tolerate that?
Well, I don't control people's reactions unless I feel that it is disrespectful or something. People respond how they do. I think somehow there's something in the way that you express yourself that doesn't seem to come inside the heart so much.
That's all I am, Mooji.
Yeah.
How can you not see?
But you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. It should
Clearly,
be enough.
if you're not seeing, I do need to communicate that.
No, not necessarily, because your very presence, and we don't have to say so much about ourselves, because in fact, it doesn't convey in that way. I've done all this, I've done this, and because occasionally I meet someone who say, and of course it is true, I would love that all the people who come to satsang wake up to the truth of themselves. But in this sort of way, when I listen, and it's like, it's a little bit like a self-promotion or something like that. I'm in no disrespect.
What would you
not
rather me
disrespect.
do? Sit and bow and be silent? That's what they have the signs up saying silence. How often have women been told to be silent? I will not be silent anymore. Even if you, a master, cannot see this.
You have a book in your hand. What does it say?
Sadhguru Inner Engineering, a Yogi's Guide to Joy. Sadhguru talks about how women are closer to God. They have awareness of their emotions, and they have been suppressed for so long. And I'm here to speak the voice of that.
Okay.
What?
Okay. It's enough for the moment. I'm not trying to silence you, but when you say like that, it somehow it doesn't really reach me in that way, And of course, there may be people who would like to hear more about what you have to share in this way. But this way of speaking about yourself, no one who is awake actually goes around saying how awake they are. And this.
Do you know that's the problem? People have the conception that awakened one will never speak these things. But Ramana Maharshi spoke about how at the age 11, he faced death himself and he awoken. How can people speak that unless they don't share what is true? My whole life has been honesty, and that is what I speak to you.
Yes. Okay. I am out of words on this one. I don't know where you find an audience to what you have to share, but I feel that you misunderstand when you feel like, saying that women have been held down. There's no such thing happening here.
Really? When I arrived in India, I went into a taxi cab, and the taxi driver tried to take me to a very dark alley, a shady place on my first day in India. The only reason I came here was to see you. He was trying to take me to experience what many women in India face: rape, molestation, abuse, disrespect. And if you deny that reality, it is my experience, and there are countless reports of women being abused, especially female solo travelers. So this is my lived experience. And I was advised by people to look out for these taxi drivers who will be scammers and con artists. And he tried to take me to a very bad place, and I had to get up and I had to yell and say, do not take me to this bad place.
Okay.
I would like to say something about India, because certainly all around the world there are places where there are problems, that no one's denying that. We totally love India, and I feel that there's a little bit of disrespect in some of the things that you're bringing forward, and maybe it's enough and we can come back to the satsang with Mooji Baba.
Okay, I don't feel much to engage with that at the moment. Do you guys want to hear more about that? I don't know. I just yeah. This is all part of it also. I mean, people will stand and people will speak. I am not putting my... There goes... that's what the Buddha has to say today. Everything that takes place is for our experiencing and also to check in and to look and to really make use of what you experience. And sometimes I feel for this lady also it's important that she experiences this and we experience also what she has to say. But I could not feel anything at all about it. And I will never run out of being a little bit in awe of what a human mind can produce. So, yeah. We are... I'm a little scared right now. No, I'm only joking.
My query is not that big. It's a day-to-day means kind of problem. It's about how to regulate the emotions. In my case, emotion is a means kind of blessing to me, as well as it is coming as curse to me, because of these emotions, I'm able to see, I'm able to develop empathy, I'm able to see concern in other person, even they are trying to harm me. Means that my emotion is making me better human day by day. At the same time, my emotions are causing me problem. Like anyone can manipulate me easily with just a simple effort. They can make me to react. So I want to keep the nectar of emotions so that I can be a good human. But at the same time, I want to overcome the side effects of the emotion.
Yes.
So please help me for that.
If I can, I will say that yes, I agree that you have come to see that some emotion, you have learned from them and come to see that there are good things that come out of them. On the other side, the people can stir you up easy because they can predict that if they do or say something, you're quite likely to respond like that.
Yes.
You speak about your emotions as though they are you, but they are your emotions, and they are more linked to a state of mind than to the essence I'm trying to point out. So rather than giving too much, of course, there are people who could come and say, oh, I got some good exercises for you to do with controlling the emotions and so on. My direct way is more to shift the attention away from how the emotions are playing right now, because we'll catch them around the corner. No worry about it. But more to look at really coming more deeply into the recognition of your true self rather than what you're presently identifying as yourself, you see? Because you speak of your emotional dynamics as though this is you. And I say, no, this is also, it is true, it is how the consciousness has come to, and every expression of consciousness, a unit of consciousness, is going to have some seeming obstacles. That's why you're here on this planet in some way, that will experience something that you are going to have to transcend. We all have different things to overcome at the level of the personalized or localized consciousness. My point is now, rather than taking the things bit by bit, because the mind is such, it's a bit of a factory or a tree that is like trying to prune a banyan tree with a nail clipper. By the time you've gone so far, new leaves are coming up behind it. Sometimes it may seem as though I only have 2 challenges, 2 or 3 difficulties. If I sort those out, I'll be fine. But in sorting them out, some other ones come to the surface. So rather than giving too much energy to that, and of course there are ways of addressing the thing about emotions or whatever other thing. There are disciplines, there are treatments, there are different workshops to do with these things. But I'm bypassing all of that to come to the place that you must eventually reach, which is beyond and above them. When you discover this, today could be good, when you discover this, the emotions and the virility of their explosiveness, that will come on the natural subduing, or it may come in another way, that they become so unimportant because the one to whom they belong is no more taken to be the resident of this house. Do you follow?
Sorry, please explain me in layman language because
Okay.
because I don't want to lose this opportunity.
Okay, let's try another way. Your emotions, when they come, when they are made use of, when you say, okay, at least they come, it wasn't a nice feeling, but something good came out of it, there is awareness of that. When people come and they push your buttons, and then somehow you flare up beyond your control, so to speak, there is an awareness about that. There's awareness that even after of the emotions arising and the apparent one who is suffering them, okay? Now, the one who is suffering or having the emotions, okay? Is there any space behind that one? Is that one just what you are? Or you say, this is happening to me, this me sense of you. I would put it that is just, this is the way you think you are. This is the idea you have of yourself. I don't know if I'm getting through with this, but your emotions, good or bad, nice or not nice, are observed in you. The reactions to them also are observed in you. Their comings and goings are observed in you. You cannot be them, because if you were your emotions, when they go, you would also be gone. So something is here to observe the arising potentially of emotion, the strength they may happen with, and also their departure. You understand?
Yeah.
That which is observing or is aware of emotion is that emotional. Do you follow my point?
Look,
I go again. Just this point. Your emotions, they come up, they flare up. Maybe very quickly, or you may find that something is coming to the boil slowly.
yes.
There's an awareness of that. No?
Yes.
You can feel, actually I need to go for a walk because I'm getting really upset here or something. No? So there's an awareness of that. I am looking at the awareness itself. But let me talk on a bit. So a feeling is coming, maybe a rage or some anxiety or something is coming to the surface. There's an awareness of it. It is so loud, it's so toxic, maybe you can say, in its experience, that you've formed a strong identity with that. You may say, I'm a very emotional person. And if you start to speak like that, I'm very likely to get angry or something. You may speak like that. If I say, the emotions, the emotional waves, they come and they go. You are not that which comes and goes. When the emotions come, you feel, oh no, I can't take this, is too much, and you get identified with them. But when they go, they are gone, and you are still here to witness, oh no, I'm fine now. That has subsided. So that which is aware of the coming of the emotion, the play of them, and the departing of them, that is not an emotion, is it?
Yeah, means that is the awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
The awareness, does awareness come or go? Or is it that things come, appear in the awareness, and they come and go?
Awareness is right there, but it is overshadowed by, might be my ego, my identifications.
Yes, and this is the power of attention. Attention is one of your powerful tools, that wherever attention go, you're calling that your experience. That's why when the emotions come, a lot of attention, a lot of energy goes to them. And because the energy is so strong there, you say it overshadows the awareness itself. But it can only be there because awareness is there anyway. There cannot be anger or emotion without awareness. There is we use the term awareness like awareness of, and I use awareness and awareness of. Awareness of, you can say, or conscious of something is a dynamic activity. Now, I'm conscious this is happening. But there must be what I call the root awareness, that which makes you, in which you come to know that you exist. You come to know you exist. You see? That is always stable and present. It is not personal. It itself does not get upset. Something gets upset. The dynamic consciousness that has become identified as a personal entity experiences the emotion. They clash together. And the one you take yourself to be is the one that's, this is happening to me. And this identity, this happened to me and I can't take it. Everyone accepts to be themselves. Okay? But it is not a stable state. There is something in you which is much more stable. In fact, not much more stable, it is stable. And it is here that I'm inviting you to pay some attention to it. If you succeed in really recognizing it, you will see that this is the true self. This is your true self. When that is recognized, not just mentally, but you experience that, but this is a fact, that's what I am, the emotion and their consequence will subside for you. Because the emotions are being registered for the person you take yourself to be. The consciousness has adopted personhood as its location. It reads personhood as what it is. It feels that is the fact of who I am. Whereas when you wake up to the truth, that person becomes the fiction you thought was yourself. And that becomes very clear for you.
Yeah, now I got the clarity. Now coming, how to be in touch with that something, that true self, how to means experience that.
The one who is saying, how can I experience that true self, is itself experienced by that true self. Please, it takes a little moment. We're going to come to an end in a second. Just give it a little bit more attention for a moment. The one who is saying, how can I get more in touch with that stable awareness? Because this one is presently accepted to be the evidence and the fact of my existence. But I'm asking you at the same time, this very one who is saying, or this saying, how can I get in touch? If you take out the apparent one who is saying it and just look at the saying of it, the words, how can I get in touch with that source awareness and become more like it? Is that not also just some words and emotion and identity appearing because the awareness is there, appearing in the awareness itself? Can anybody see this? Yes. Can you see it, sir?
Not exactly.
Yes, and that is why it is persisting. That when I say, you say, how can I get more in touch with that root self? How can I? And it sounds a very noble desire. How can I get back to that place where I'm not disturbed by these things? You see? And I'm trying something, I'm saying, but even the words you're speaking, the emotion with which you speak with, the intention that you are speaking with, all of that also is perceived as phenomenon, because this moment, these words being spoken, these feelings being experienced, all will subside, including the strength of the identity with them will also pass, like clouds passing. The awareness in which they appear and play and disappear is not passing. This is the root of my pointing. When grasped, this single understanding will combust into true spiritual knowledge in you. And all these things that appear to be rights and wrongs in you will have a different quality about them. And when will this awareness appear? It is already right here. This awareness does not appear. It is always here. Other things appear. And that's why you can admit everything is appearing in you, including this present state of consciousness. If you woke up at 7 o'clock this morning, at 6:59, what was your state? You had no name, you had no gender, you had no religion. At 7 o'clock sprouts the consciousness which you later will call the waking state. The waking state must have appeared in something that is already here. That I call the awareness itself. The waking state consciousness arose, and in it, the history and memory of yourself and everything, both the experiencer, what you will experience, and the very functioning of experiencing are all the play and the content of the waking state consciousness. Have I gone too far? So actually, all of this waking state you are perceiving. Just like right now, you know you're conscious. And if someone hit you on the head and you, whoa, I say, you okay? So you say, I'm losing consciousness. Something is even witnessing, I'm losing consciousness also. Maybe that's going too far right now. But what I'm saying is that you are that awareness itself. But because of the conditioning imposed upon you, when you came into form, you appeared in the form, the first appearance of yourself was the knowingness, the feeling I am. That did not come immediately at the birth of this body. In fact, this body is not the body your parents birthed. It is also a development. That feeling, the feeling I am, the untaught way of being aware that you exist, the sense I am, is the announcement of this awareness in its dynamic form. Can I say again? When the feeling you have, I, when you say I, actually I is your most intimate and true name. And I implies consciousness. I am. Am means to be. I am means I, consciousness, exist. That's the dynamic consciousness, which has the capacity to identify with the instrument that is appearing in order to taste the phenomenon of experiencing. So this I feeling is impersonal. I call it the child of the absolute. Absolute means the pure, unaffected, attributeless awareness, which you may have heard me speak of as Nirgun Brahman. What you come to see through listening to the invitation earnestly. As soon as that is recognized again, that stillness, unchanging, unhappening awareness is recognized, then everything begins to fall into place for you. All your dynamic actions and so on, you will experience that all the movements are taking place in the stillness that you are. At present, very few people are aware of that stillness, because once the consciousness identifies with person, the person identifies with activity, desire, attachment, projection, dream, all these things. And that's a busy world. And it's so busy, and it's so trying to make do and to manipulate the manifestation to be in a shape that it can be happy with. And whatever you manipulate the manifestation to be cannot keep that shape, because it's a dynamic thing. And because of that, you are not been for a long time attracted to your timeless and unchanging state. Although that was always here, that is the only part of yourself which is not changing. And in this life, by coming here, is the chance for you to recognize the unchanging in you. It doesn't mean you're going to die, but the lie in you will die. Either suddenly or gradually. And it will be an excellent death. Meaning you will enjoy being liberated from the delusions and the distortions of the psychological identity. Right now it is possible also. Right now it is possible. That's what I'm pointing, you see. I say all the things that come, the things that came a few seconds or minutes ago, that came up and flared up and was quite strong for a moment, which in turn gradually subside and move along and is witnessed or observed to have gone, now to be replaced by another movement or perhaps silence. And that silence, if there's silence, will also be observed in you and enjoyed in you. And then maybe replaced by another feeling. But that still place in which they come and go, you must come to know consciously. When you know it consciously, I will ask you, does that come and go? And you will have to admit it does not come and go. Every other state, including the waking, the dreaming, the deep sleep, and the awareness of yourself, there are states that are rotating. They are rotating states. And they're rotating in that which is not rotating, that I call pure awareness, or the Nirgun Brahman. Is that a complex set of concepts? They will not be complex when you understand them. They are not just for mental entertainment or spiritual entertainment. They are pointing directly to you. And it becomes increasingly easy, enjoyable, and natural as you're coming into the recognition of what is timeless in you. This is why we do the exercise, and then to ask you, is there any time here in this place? And people confess, there's no time. Is there any season? There's no season. Is it hot or cold? No, there's no temperature. Was it born? Does it die? It does not born. It cannot die. Why? Because you are in direct experience of that truth. It is that I would point to. However many times, however often people come and they talk about this thing is wrong, that thing is wrong, and so on. Of course, we can listen on that level and say, well, maybe you stop going to these places and blah, 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 blah. And that's okay at some level. But higher than that is to point you to that which you are. And initially, we are lazy for that. There may even be some resistance that comes up, or suddenly the mind is lazy. You know how many times I've sat here and I've said, just pay attention to your breath for a moment, but don't attach anything. And suddenly, people go into sleep. Why? I am not throwing magic powder in their face. Why? As soon as we begin to guide in a powerful way, the mind cuts out. It's like a kind of resistance happens. But if you block out like this and somebody came inside from outside and say, who's got that red Volkswagen outside? It's on fire. Whoa. You'll be gone. It's not a true sleep. What am I pointing to? That there is a kind of resistance that comes initially to the invitation to wake up to the truth. Don't take it too seriously. Just keep staying with what you're pointed to, and you will overcome all these things. Because we primarily won't be attracted to this kind of understanding at this level, and this is the highest understanding, I'll put it, in the human kingdom. Because it's waking up to the truth. It's not putting you into a place of dependency, attachments, fantasy, all these things. It is directly known. Therefore, you came and you spoke one thing about the emotions, and we heard, because everybody have their other things. Somebody may say, my thing is the fear of being alone. Not only say that I keep telling lies or whatever it is. You say, I have this thing with emotion. I like to get a hold of that. I want to overcome that. I say, why not overcome the whole thing? Why not overcome the idea, the limited idea you have of yourself also? It will not harm you to know this. In fact, you are naturally and by nature happy and always and pure and kind. You see?
Yeah.
These are things that we practice to become when we retain personal identity. When you discover, I say sometimes you have to become like the cow that jumped over the moon. What I mean by that, excuse me. What I mean by that, here in this metaphor, the moon means the mind. The cow jump over the moon, everybody will say cows cannot jump over a moon. Meaning that you don't realize it, but this understanding taking root in you is jumping over the mind, not trying to capture the mind. Jumping over it means surpassing, transcending all the effects the knee can produce. By knowing, recognizing, and being one with, unavoidably, that which you naturally are. That is all satsang is doing.
I think you have explained beautifully, but back to my learning abilities. If you can,
Go to a place where you have no abilities. Because all your abilities, if you are personal in the way that I am describing, will become disabilities. Your ability, you say, presently, according to my ability, I'm not able to something. That is also your thought. That is also your thought. We have many thoughts which are crippling, disabling thoughts. But because they've been passed on to us, sometimes from people who clearly love you, we just accept, because that is the nature of the life of a person. You say, I'm strong like this, weak like this. And of course, there's a level at which I can say, I used to be able to climb a tree, right now I'm not able to climb a tree. Okay? So you're saying to your present capacity, I'm not able to do that. But it doesn't require your ability or inability at this level. Because what I'm pointing to is already perfectly in place. You are the awareness itself. But you rely on your mind's assessment of you to say, I don't think I'm really able to get there. But how can you get to where you can never not be? It's just a question that at present, your way of identifying perceives that what I'm talking to is some distance and requires some technique or some skill that you don't presently have. It takes no skill at all. I'm only pointing out what is here, not that you should take something to take you there. Awareness itself. Awareness itself. The mind cannot accept. But the mind not accepting is also a joke. It's also a delusion. That it's meant to play like that so that you overplay him. The man says, I don't accept. And then that is believed. And you believe it into existence and into experience. But awareness does not believe anything, nor disbelieve anything. It is like the field of what you may call sentience. It doesn't need to accomplish. It cannot be successful or failure.
like after going from here, tomorrow also I'm coming here, but day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Actually, my learning ability, again, I'm talking about ability. because I used to learn by performing things.
Yes.
So, frankly, I'm asking for something which I can practice daily after growing from here, so that I can be in touch with that
Okay,
something.
practice observing your thoughts and activities without identifying with them.
Okay.
Yeah? So whatever is going on, just observe, but don't judge. Don't evaluate. Just like you're noticed, just like I put you in a room and say, there's a window here, look through there, but don't interact with anything. Or you're standing on the train platform. I say, stand with me on the train platform, okay? The trains are gonna come, they're gonna stop and go. Don't get on any of them. So a train comes, stops, the doors open, and you're watching, and the conductor says, come in, no. And you're okay, close, it goes. Next one comes, has lots of your friends on it. Having a good time. Yay, calm down. You go, no, why? Mooji says, who? Next train come. Lots of people are, saying to you, and you're getting angry. And says, come, you want to fight? Yeah. He said, no, you don't go. Can you let your thoughts come like that? They come, they go, feelings come and go. And you first pay attention to them, but after a certain point, just come to be aware that actually, if you don't get involved, you're just always just here. You're just here.
Actually, a similar activity I tried with tree. I sat in front of the tree. Many times I used to do.
Yeah.
I end up with just find ants walking on the leaves, and I can't go beyond that.
Yeah. Don't get involved in anything. You're aware that these things come. What's the point of observing them? Just to know that they come and go. Things come and go. Even if something come and seem to stay, your attention is not interested anymore. So you don't even notice it's not relevant anymore. Everything is coming and going. Yeah. At a certain point, I say, pay attention just to your awareness itself. And something stops. It's like the attention stopped going out and just rest on the awareness itself. It's very simple. You're going to come and say, Mooji, it's so simple.
I think I got what I means seeking from you. Thank you very much. It's
With a little practice, with a little persistence of staying and paying attention, it yield some good result. Just keep doing. Doesn't matter if after a while the mind come again. It's still just, and it's like it's calling you to, link up. Yeah. Log in. Come. Let's play. And you just look like you're an empty camera with no SD card, no film. Just looking. Don't get involved. Just look. Then something says, but what's the point of this? Also just observe that, don't you know? Just stay as the awareness. It might seem a bit naive thing, but soon you get the point. But there's a silence here that is untouched by things. The mind wants to go, but that is also observed. I cannot call that me. I cannot call that what is. See, like this. And gradually you get accustomed to that silence. And your reference for yourself will change from something personal to something formless. Gradually stay with it. Some people can come to this recognition more quickly, others more slowly. It doesn't matter. You take in your own time. You do.
I got your point now.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So emotions come, don't try and stop them. Just begin to observe a bit, feel the impact of them, feel the pull, but observe that also. It's like you stay empty, like zero. You're aware only, not controlling. Even the urge to control, you're aware of that. Just keep being this. And tell me what your report. Come back and talk to me. If you follow a bit and say, what did you find? Did you find anything at all? Then you can share this with me.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Very much.
Thank you.
I will do them. Thank you.
Very
Thank you
good.
for being here.
Thank you.
And one thing more, how means we can get more of your presence here as a
Say, what is that? Huh? Say again?
like how we can utilize your presence means how we can more imbibe to your presence.
Follow what I just told you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay. Much we have shared, and but if you are smart, you see that I'm always pointing back to this place. If I point you to another place of traffic, then it will take your attention somewhere. And we all know that. Our life is full of distractions, attractions and distractions. Distractions mean distraction from what you are. Nobody's paying any attention to themselves. I'm not talking, we pay a lot of attention to our ego. We take a lot of attention to the sense of our person and to our form. But to our formlessness, we're not even aware of it. To the form, we are very much, all about form. And everything in form changes. Everything that is constructed out of the 5 elements and out of thought or mind is unstable. Time says, all these belong to me. I devour them. I turn them into dust. I devour everything except the awareness out of which I'm born. So the one who follows finds, proves, you see. And I have not met one person who has come back and said, I followed and I am disappointed with what I find. You will not come and tell me, oh, what I found is this object only. No. You'll find that which cannot be possessed. It cannot be injured. It cannot die. It's that kind of satsang you are in attendance to. Don't ask your mind to accept this. Don't wait for what your mind has to say about it, because he's well versed in the art of distortion. You can be without the psychological voice of the mind, but it cannot exist without you. You are before first. You may not know this with conviction now. It will come.